Good morning. Well, it's cold out. We got down to 27, 28 degrees this morning. So it's frozen on top, which is good. Means we should be able to go in disc. We haven't been running it the last couple of days because of the snow. It's been just a little bit too sloppy. Stuff kind of builds up in the disc gangs. You get stalks caught up in stuff, and doesn't work real good when we're not wet. The ground's not wet underneath. It was just that top layer that was real greasy and stuff. So Phil is actually going to go and run the disc for a while this morning. He's out there getting it ready. It's right there. Anyway, we might jump in it after lunch or this afternoon or something and run that for a while today. So that would be good. Yesterday, I spent the day checking in with some of my seed customers and visiting with people around, and that went pretty well. But I didn't get to make a video for that. So I tried to do one last night, and let me show you what's going on. All right. So yesterday I made these videos where I did these screen records, and they play just fine on my computer, but I tried to upload those files to my Google Photos folder, and then when I tried to get them on my phone last night to edit the video, it did not work at all. And I am realizing that these videos are a WebM file, .webm, which I've never heard of. So I think that's my problem. So I am currently running them through a online converter, and I'm going to try and make this video. I did the harvest plots and trials review kind of thing today. So I don't know. You'll know by the time you're watching the one I'm recording now, you'll know whether I got yesterday's video out or not. But it's going to be late because it's already after 8 o'clock, and that's when they usually come out. So we'll work on that for a minute. Holy cow, do I have a story for you guys. You're not going to believe this one. We'll get to that. First, I got a seed truck I got to go get unloaded. Oh, this one's an adventure here. Struggling to get them to the back of the truck. Anyway, it is a long ways down this aisle between these two big long stacks that we've already got in here. But we've got a different variety today, so we're making a new row. It's got his Chrome Shop Mafia mud flaps. Alright, we got her unloaded there. There was 9 boxes on that truck, 3 of one variety and 6 of another one, both varieties that we hadn't gotten yet. So we've got some of our 2 9s, 3 0s, 3 1s, and 3 3s. Most of our full season beans are in. I need the early ones yet. It's November, we got time. You can see my truck got a little dirty yesterday, driving down the dirt roads that I was on seeing seed customers, but that's okay. There is a bit of a early delivery premium for taking these beans now by the end of the month. They pay me a little bit extra per unit on them, so that's why I like taking them now, because they aren't hurting anything sitting in my barn. I have them so that I know they won't get cut, and nobody's gonna take them from me. And yeah, it works out well to have them sitting in my barn and getting paid to have them sitting there. So anyway, back to the farm. So I got some stuff to show you guys. Remember when I said Phil was going to disc? Phil was on his way to go disc, and something happened. Notice that the disc is back and unhooked. There's a reason for that. We're switching tractors. We got to get the grain cart unhooked, which means I got to get the data off of the grain cart before we unhook it so that I can get it, because all that stuff's going to be in that tractor. We're going to use the 8R on the disc, and we're going to back the cart into the new shed where we got somewhere to get it inside. This is the last time I will ever use U-Harvest. I'm promising you that right now. It's just like it to disappoint me one more time. I cannot get the data to export off of it. I'm frustrated. USB is plugged in. The little light's even on. Like, it's there. When I hit the drop down, it says USB. If you pull the USB out, that option's not even there. But it says no drive detected. And when I hit export all, or even if I just click on one of those and I hit export all, error. All of them. Error and uploading. Error. Okay, fine. So let's go in and just select one. Right? We'll just select one. And we'll hit our USB, because for some reason that unselected. And we'll hit export selected. Error. I can't even get my data, my incomplete crappy data, I can't even get off of here. to do anything with it. That is so incredibly frustrating. You have no idea. Well, I tried it through that display instead of this one, and this one's even harder to use and less intuitive, but I hit the transfer all files button there, and eventually it came up and said transferred successfully. I don't know if it worked or not. I tried to do it again, and it didn't work a second time on a different USB just to try it, do it twice. But anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and unhook the cart and not worry about it because we got stuff to do. We're gonna need fuel. Better do that before we hook up. So have I left you in suspense long enough about what happened to the 8430? I'll show you in a minute. It's in the back of the shop now. We gotta get this hooked up first, and Phil's back there cleaning. He's cleaning. He was driving down the road. He's got the crap scared out of him, let's just say that. Alright, that is hooked up and should be good to go. That tractor's nicer to drive anyway. Alright, I'll let you in on it. Let's go show you what happened to our 8430. So Phil was driving to the field where he's been working with the disc going down the road, and he said, and he was, I don't know, maybe 2 miles from here, and was passing a house lot with a mailbox. So he was kind of watching the side so he didn't hit the mailbox, and the car passed from the other way. And he said while he was watching the mailbox, all of the sudden the front windshield shattered. It's gone. Just destroyed it. So scared the crap out of him. There was glass everywhere. He pretty well had it cleaned up. Oh, there's a piece. Before I was able to even see it too much, because he did it while I was unloading that truck. So I did see it, but I didn't get a chance to film anything with it the way that it was. So yeah, you're not supposed to be able to get to the windshield wiper from inside the cab and prop your foot up on the light there. So we had to switch tractors, and it looks like we need a new windshield. Crazy. Just unbelievable. Yeah. I think there's still glass falling out when you do stuff, but I wish I would have gotten a good picture of shattered glass there, because that would have made a great thumbnail. It didn't. Dang it. So I'm not sure if this is something we can insurance claim or not. There's some glass down in there. You can see we'll have to get that cleaned up over the winter, but this tractor is done for the fall. Yeah. Could you imagine? Could you imagine driving down the road and all of a sudden the windshield shatters on you? Whew. I would have been pretty nervous as well. But that's why I don't let my kids lean against the front window in the combine, because you just don't know. You just don't know. I don't know if that car that he passed threw a rock and it hit the window and that's what shattered it. I don't know if it was maybe getting a little bit loose. Phil made the comment the other day, and I did too when I was driving it down to Berkey the one day, that, man, it seems loud in here. Like the cab was a little loud, so maybe the glue was starting to give out on it or something, and it wasn't sealing. And just jostling it around, going down the road, it popped. I don't know. But that's not good. And it is a good thing that we have other tractors that we could use. So we got the 8R put on the disc there, and we'll try and get stuff going. He's not back yet. He hasn't called me, so it must be working okay. We were worried about some of the stuff that had gotten in the blades or in the hangers there freezing up and not letting it turn. So it's cold, but it's not frozen, so it should be able to get a lot done here today, maybe tomorrow. Well, I got that video done finally, so it's uploading. We got an hour left because it takes forever. And look at this. I actually got some grain cart data. It did transfer, and we have files there that now have to be sorted through and determined whether or not they're accurate. Hopefully we have good notes in our receiving spreadsheet, grain receiving spreadsheet that we took there, so that we know where and what we missed when we missed them. And we can use that for post-calibrating the combine. So, hey, we're making progress here. All right, well, I'm back in front of the computer. I thought Phil would be back soon and want to go to lunch, and the disc would be here, and then we'd go jump in it, but he's not back yet, so I'm going to keep doing stuff here. I'm doing some post-calibrations, just real quick. So, like, this field here was a cornfield, and this is the totals from the combine, but I have the totals from that field from the grain cart here, and they don't quite match. So we hit this edit button and then hit area harvested and post calibration, and we have a wet weight Not changing the acres harvested because I assume that's right, but it's this total wet weight. The combine thinks there was 249,000 pounds harvested. The grain cart tells me it was 242,000 pounds, basically. We're off by 7,000. So I'll type that number in, 241,995, and hit save. And it will update all of these records here from the combine and correct that. And it'll adjust our map and everything accordingly. So just going through all the fields and doing that. Most of them, the combine was a little bit high. That one was kind of a lot for what most of them are. There's a couple of bean fields that were low. The beans were actually better than the combine said. So that's why having good data is important. Now, when I come to one of those that's off by 50,000 pounds or something, it's a pretty good bet that we lost grain cart data, and I don't put it in there. So you got to kind of, that's why having good records is important, and why I'm struggle with this a little bit. But like, I remember that field, we never dumped any small loads off of that field. They were all heavy ones. So the fact that we're off by 7,000, yeah, that's probably accurate. See, here's a bean field that when I hit this and go to wet weight, the combine said 141,000, grain cart says 156. So we're 15,000 low. Well, that'll make them beans pretty dang good. They were already at 68. That's going to push them well into the 70s. So I don't know why. I don't know why our combine wasn't any more consistent than that. That's really frustrated. Oh, I do remember this field. Oh, yeah. You guys remember this field? Hold on. Let me enter that number and we'll talk about it. 156,334. Save. This is the field we combined at night that one night. We had done the field right in front of it up here, and they were really good beans, and then it kind of got dark right as we were starting this one, and all of a sudden my yield monitor was way off. That one, yeah, I remember that. Got dark, yield monitor was off. I don't know why. Well, I just called Phil to see where he was at and if he wanted me to take over, and he said he's good. He doesn't want me to run it today, or doesn't need me to. So, I'm going to find something else to do. You know what I need to do? That tractor we've got without a window in it now, it's got a GPS monitor and some receiver on it and stuff. We can take that off of there, but while doing so, I have all of the wheat planting data is on that display. That is the only one we have that does not do wireless data transfer to the My John Deere system. So I need to get that data off of there so that I have a record of what got planted where for the wheat crop and when it was planted and all of that. So jump drive, we'll go do that. That had to be terrifying. Be sitting there and all of a sudden the window's gone. Holy cow. Not having a window there makes getting to the GPS receiver plug here a little bit easier. Let's see. Can I? Yeah. Maybe. Oh yeah. There we go. Real easy removal. Kind of. Here's the bucket of glass that Phil shop vac out of the tractor cab. Yeah. Imagine that, just scattered all over the floor and in your lap. Whew. Man, oh man, is it cold. Phil did say he pulled into one field and he started running the disc and he thought it was getting too hard, frozen too solid in that spot, but it was a little wetter when we combined it. We'd gotten one of those 1/4-inch rains or something that we had that didn't really stop us, but it made it just a little bit wet on top and we were shelling there, so it may have been a little bit hard there. But anyway, we're done with our ripper. Exactly. So I'm going to go unhook it. Where am I going to unhook it? Probably right there, next to the 4440. That should go in the barn too. And the corn head. All kinds of stuff. We got all kinds of stuff that we should put inside. But we're not actually done with this tractor, I don't think. Let's start getting it unhooked. Okay. Well, after a few choice words and struggles and some tools gotten, we got it unhooked. That thing needs some work before next year. We've got issues with the true set system not calibrating. We've got worn out ripper points. We've got worn out hitch components. We've got worn out rolling baskets. It's a good tool, but it needs some work. Now, before we put this in the barn, we have talked about potentially running a field cultivator over some of this chiseled ground and doing some stale seed bed for next year for the corn, instead of field cultivating it in the spring ahead of the planter, trying to do it now since the soil is so dry and than being able to just go in and plant it in the spring. One of those fields happens to be a wheat field in the back here, or was a wheat field that we chiseled, I don't know, two months ago. It's been a while, but Dad said there's some volunteer wheat coming through it on it, so we're gonna drive back there and look at it right now. I don't know if we can do it now or not. It might be too hard, too frozen. It might not be, but our field cultivator's back here that we would have to hook up to anyway, so we're just gonna drive all the way back and look at it, and if I think we can go, we'll hook the field cultivator up and maybe go try and do it. This field. So, is this frozen? Too hard? I don't think so. I think it'll break apart. I mean, it's not... I brought a hammer because that's the only tool I had in the tractor. I think that'll break apart. Let's hook the field cultivator up and see what the heck happens. If it's too hard, we'll quit. Or we'll break something. Well, let's give it a shot. Although, I really don't want to have to air up 18 tires on a field cultivator, so we'll see what it looks like. Pound on the tires with my hammer, see if they're good. She's hooked up. I don't see any flat tires from here. Oh, we better pull that jack up. I think I walked back here. Let's check the tires on the Packer real quick. I think we'll be alright. Packer tires, they don't even need to be good. We don't even use them. Alright, we're good there. Oh yeah, the mainframe tires are definitely all good. We're just gonna go back and unfold it. Let's see what happens. Holy crap, this thing's huge compared to the tillage equipment we've been running. The disc ripper especially, but even the land haul, this is huge. 45-foot field cultivator. Packer's 46. So we'll let that get unfolded. I'm getting the monitor set up here. Sure we get our field and our auto tracking working so I can pay attention to what I'm doing and not steering, something like that. 1-5 home farm. Okay, main north side, that's what we want. Okay, sweet. Oh, give her a shot here. You know what we gotta do before we give it a shot? We have to take the cylinder stops out so it'll go down into the ground. That would be helpful. These ones right here, are they tight? I gotta lift it up, but yeah, that's gotta come out. Take two, try it again. It's going. We got cold hydraulic oil. There we go. All right, check in a minute. Well, it looks really good. I had to set it down a little deeper than where we had it set from the spring, just to get it in the ground, because the ground's hard, it's not soft, it's not wet like it is in the spring. Sometimes your tires sink down a little bit and it goes a little deeper than what it's set for. Now the ground's pretty firm, a little frozen, it's going a little shallower, so I set it down. We're running 3 inches deep. We're not going real deep, don't need to go real deep, but it seems to be doing a nice job. It looks really good behind us, so I'm happy with that. It's pulling sort of hard here. We're only going 6 miles an hour, 5.9, so that's good. I'm not complaining about that. It's just sometimes in the spring we pull this thing 7 to 7.5 miles an hour, so yeah, looks okay to me. So like I said, the idea here is to level this ground out, right? So we ran our ripper across this, and you can see it's not horribly unlevel, but it's not real smooth. It's got some ridges to it and stuff, the way that a ripper does. There's a rock. We should mark that. How do we do a flag? Menu, applications, flags. Come on, hurry, 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 hurry. We don't have it set up. Weeds, we'll just, no rocks, right there. Okay. Point, it's a point, save it. Rock, okay. We dropped a flag, we're off by about 100 feet or more. Anyway, So we're trying to level up those ridges and stuff that are in there from the chiseled ground. Normally we would do this pass in the spring, and we would come in and plant it right behind it. It's a little early to plant, so I'm not going to do that. It's November, not April or March. That was a joke, guys. Laugh. Anyway, what we are trying to do, though, or also trying to do, is take out this wheat. So you see the little bit of green out here? That is volunteer wheat from this field. And so doing this tillage to it will uproot it and should help keep it from growing anymore or coming back in the spring. Should keep this field a little bit cleaner, so we like that. And it has the potential, I'm not going to guarantee it, but it has the potential to eliminate the field cultivator pass in the spring. We're shifting that work from the fall, or from the spring to the fall. So we know our ground conditions are really good right now. We're very dry, and we're not risking compaction. We're not rutting stuff up. We're not hurting anything being out here. And so if we can shift some of that spring work where we don't know what ground conditions are going to be like, and it could get wet, it could get muddy, and we could struggle to get stuff done to the fall. So all we have to do is plant this, and it doesn't have to be quite as dry to get a planter across as it does a field cultivator kind of thing. That could help us get stuff done in the spring a little bit more. This very, very well might be the first field of corn that we plant, because it's one of our better tiled farms anyway. And so we're kind of getting ready for that. Now, the risk that we run by doing this, and the reason we don't typically do it, is because when we leave fields rough, it stops water from washing across it, right? Those ridges and stuff are water breaks. They're like little mini dams that keep the water from running across the field and causing major erosion problems. The smoother you leave a field, the more likely you are to have gullies and water washing and eroding that soil. That's not good. This field here, while not perfectly flat, is relatively flat. It doesn't have the elevation change that a lot of our other fields, that one right there, do. And so we feel okay with working this one down. We've got one or two other fields that we might try and do, like I said, to try and shift that workload to now when we can do it and do it in good conditions, instead of in the spring when we just don't know and maybe don't have the manpower to get it done timely. So that's the idea, that's the goal here. This is done a fair bit down to Berkey. We haven't been able to do it just because the logistical issues of getting the equipment there to do it. And the last few years have been super wet in the fall, so nobody's really done it. But stale seed bed, we call this, is pretty common in areas where the ground is very flat because they don't have the erosion issues that we deal with on hilly ground. Well, we've got the Michigan portion of the field done. That sign right there, really that post, is the state line. We are now working in Ohio. Actually, we've been on Ohio. It kind of runs on an angle, so we've been in Ohio for most of it. But yeah, anyway, it's kind of a cool thing that most farmers don't deal with. Well, we were cruising along, doing pretty well, and we just came to a stop. But I didn't get any air codes. Dad had told me that he had been having some trouble with this tractor with a sensor or something, but it was throwing a code. I'm getting no code, but I got no throttle. That's a problem. So, what do I do? Well, we've got a couple of active ECU codes here. The second one there is just telling me that an engine derate condition exists. This is the one that's a problem. Exhaust pressure sensor fault. Engine power limited. That's a problem. We did have the dealer down looking at it one day. I don't know. I think they were ordering some parts, so I can't clear that code. I don't think. Clear codes. Maybe I can. We'll see what happens. See if it comes back instantly. Yeah, it's active. Shoot. We can try and restart the tractor and see if that does anything, but we can't finish if we can't. I mean, we can drive, but it's only at an idle, so I'm gonna go ahead and restart the tractor. Alright, well, we'll let our controllers and everything boot back up, but we got engine RPM, so I don't know that we fixed anything. I'm sure we didn't fix anything, but we at least can keep running. We'll see how long it lasts, if we can finish the field or not. I don't know. So I'm kind of back in by the trees here a little bit and stuff. I can tell where there are spots that are a little more frozen. It's a little harder, top of the ridges here and stuff, because the chunks in front of the shanks there kind of roll forward instead of breaking apart so much and stuff. So I think we're okay, but it is definitely starting to get too frozen for this. It's going to get worse tomorrow. Tomorrow's supposed to only be a high in the mid-20s, and I think Sunday as well. So things are going to get a little hard over the weekend here. But then warm up next week, and we should get another shot. May get a little greasy on top because we've had that snow and stuff, just a little bit of moisture, but our ground is still really dry. It's not going to get to the point where we can't do tillage and stuff. So we don't have a lot to do yet. We're just kind of playing a little bit. You know, we talked about why we're doing this and stuff. Occasionally when we have dry falls like this and you can actually go out and do some tillage, we'll get into what some people would refer to as a recreational tillage situation, where guys are just doing it because they can and there's no purpose. We try and avoid that, right? We're not running the ripper on more ground than we need to. We're not out there going over things 2 or 3 times just because we can. What we're doing now serves a purpose. It's shifting workload from the spring to the fall. Working our stalks down with a disc serves a purpose. It is breaking them down so that we have a better seed bed and can raise a better soybean crop next year. Going over this field a second time doesn't serve a purpose. Hitting the stalks a second time in the fall doesn't serve a purpose. Going over the ripper on fields that we don't need to do doesn't serve a purpose. That's recreational tillage. So once we're done with what we want to get done, we'll shut her down even if we still have good ground conditions. We are about done, but it is about this time of night. Time for the lights. Doing some end rows because we are just about done here. Man, we don't do this in the fall very often, so having nice flat smooth fields, oh, I love this. This is like a taste of spring in November. It's great. All right, last little bit of end rows here. We're gonna head up to the farm there. It is rare to tillage in the snow. I mean, we do fall tillage in the snow sometimes, but this is just a weird balance of springy tillage versus doing it in the fall. And I don't know. This is unusual for me. It's fun, but it's different. Well, I don't know. I assume we're going to do some more with this. Pick another couple of fields. We've got a couple more in mind that I think would be good ones to do. We're going to have to change some shovels and check things out a little bit better before we do a whole lot more with it. But like I said, it's getting to the point where it's too frozen, and so it's going to be a next week project, I think. So we're going to park it up here out of the way for tonight, for the weekend, and we'll come back to this later. That one light is real bright. Anyway, I'm going home. So thanks for watching this one. Have a great weekend. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Hey, make sure you go check out Farm Focus. Get your holiday shopping done. Grab some Borderview Farms merchandise, hats. I still don't have one. I need to get one. But yeah, it's nice to have some free time or some time after harvest to be able to do stuff like this and not be under a huge time crunch. So have a great weekend, everybody.